Hey there, kids! Welcome to the Child of Mecha live stream. I'm your host, Tim, the one and only Child of Mecha, and we are back. It's a new week. It's Monday. Ugh. Here we are. Hope everybody had a great weekend. Julius in the chat says same. Hope everybody had a great weekend. Man, I'm telling you what, it's a busy weekend. Especially yesterday. I worked my ass off. So basically just trying to get things done so we can roll out the Twitch stream as well, in addition to the YouTube stream. Basically just multi-stream to both at the same time. And man, Twitch is Twitch is a lot. There's at least double the notifications that I had to make and everything, and find sounds for, and this, that, and the third, and it just, yeah, try to get my head wrapped around all of the little things that had to go through with that. Yeah, just, it's a lot. It's a lot. So that's coming. It's looking good. I like where we're at so far. Let's see, what else? Channel memberships for YouTube is now open. So, if you want to show your support and you want to join the channel, there's some nice, some pretty cool things in there. It would be amazing if you did. Really appreciate that. But yeah, channel memberships on YouTube are now open. So basically just go to my YouTube channel, search for memberships, and bada boom, bada bing. There you go. There's 3 tiers. Inexpensive, a lot less than what Twitch charges. And so yeah, go support if you can. Anyway, let's see, what else? Man, 1 week from now, it will be Amber's graduation week. Whew, she started her last week of school today. She only has 3 days. Today, tomorrow, and Wednesday. And that's it for high school. I don't know where the time has gone, you guys. I'll be honest with you. Today is going to be a short stream. I have to end at 1:30 because the elementary school that Amber went to is having all graduating seniors come back today and walk through the halls with their cap and gowns on and everything, so the current elementary school kids can see kind of what they have to look forward to. So I think that's extremely sweet, very wholesome. And Amber's super excited because she'll get to see some of her friends, that she was, friends with in elementary school and stuff. And then, of course, you go to different other schools and you lose track of each other and all of that stuff. So, it happens. Yeah, she's very excited to see some of her old friends and reacquaint and all that good stuff. So, and I'm looking forward to it as well. I can't wait to see these little kids just be like, ooh, ah, but that'll be a hoot. So yeah, so the stream ends a little early today. We're cutting it a half hour early, so I can go and get ready and get up there in time. And the school's probably about 15-20 minutes away from here. So yeah, need a little bit more time. So we'll end it at 1:30 today. So just FYI. Yeah, and aside from that, man, Renee will be here in 1 week. Fun times. And then Amber's full-on graduation is not this Thursday, but next Thursday. So, man, oh man. Man, oh man. So, anyway. All right. You guys, let's go camera 2. And I did work just did some scribing and stuff like this on the gun. Nothing major, but I'll show you kind of what I did over the weekend. So here, let's go camera two. Let's see here real quick. Let's get caught up in the chat. Julius says hi. Min Chow is here. What's going on? We have Apex Nerd. He says, hey, you guys. Goonies. Giovanni's with us. What's going on, buddy? Hello, everyone. I hope everyone had a good weekend. Cleaned my paint booth area. Nice. Also done painting the inner frame of the Master Grade gun cannon. Very cool. Very cool. Good progress. Sounds like it's being made. Brandon's with us. Good morning, gents. What's going on, B? And Mbuck Games just said, howdy, y'all. What's going on, everybody? Good to see you. All right, so with that being said, let's get into it here. You know what? Let's go super zoom so you guys can see a little bit better. All right, let's get that in camera. There she is. All right, so cool. So, like I said, just did some scribing this weekend. Nothing major, just, you know, some little things to kind of move this piece along a little bit, because we've spent a pretty good amount of time on this thing, and I want to get back to the Shiki itself, and I want to get that. Oh. I'm pointing like in midair with the, you know, with this, and it's focusing on it. Damn, that's pretty good focus, I'm not gonna lie. All right, cool. Camera test done. Anyway, yeah, I did some simple things on this, and we'll go over it, and then we'll start to get back into it. But nothing crazy. Just you know, some tidying up, basically. All right, so let's see. What did we do over the weekend? Most of it was back here, right? Just kind of did scribed in almost like a cap back here. Let's see if we can get a little better shot there. There she is. Yeah. So a couple notches on the side there. Outline scribed these pieces, nice, you know, kind of big chunky little notch right there, and then you can kind of see I went ahead and outline scribed around this area, and then whoop, there we go, also along the back edge here, and then transition that line over below there as well. So let's see what else. These two little notches right here wrap around the top and all, so those look really good. I like that kind of look. And then what else do we do? Yeah, just kind of nice big, this is a 0.3 scribe line right there on that, and then it both sides match, so that looks pretty good. It looks nice and separated there, and as you can see, I've already kind of drawn in another line that I want to separate this piece just a little bit more, right? And then also we'll work on a little floating notch on this, you know, kind of wide body piece right there. That'll kind of what it'll kind of look like right there, right? So so that's kind of what we're going to be working on today. Maybe a little bit of plastic work, things like that. Christ, my cat's meowing at me. Shut up! She wants in, and I won't let her in, especially during the stream. But we might do a little bit of plastic work and stuff like that too. Oh, also space for this notch right here. We'll kind of wrap that around there as well. So, all right, let's get this thing, number one, get it disassembled, and then let's get you know, kind of to the simple work here first, and then we'll kind of move on and go up in complexities here. All right, so springs off to the back. Let's get this guy out there. All right, so we've got the beam magnum part stripped down. Get the tank off there. Get that over there. All right. So let's get our 0.15 that I use for all panel lines. And then what we'll do is we'll go ahead and start by just separating this. This will just be some nice straight lines wrapped around this piece here. And so simple stuff, really. Now there's already a pre-molded kind of stair step thing going on here, so that just makes sense in terms of that's where kind of there would be a separation. So that's what we're going to do. Now we're also, in addition to the the panel line, I also marked it. Let's see if we can get, there we go. Kind of marked it for a nice chunky notch over here as well. So let's get the top lines done first, because that will determine where our other lines will wrap around here first, since this is already an existing kind of stair step type of feature that's pre-molded in here. So we'll start with that and get that scribe line set in place, because this will be super easy. Just follow the contour, really. All right, there we are. Very nice, very nice. Okie dokie. So put that cap back on the chisel for right now, and excuse me. All right, so we're gonna need a little Dymo tape now. Normally what I would say is to, use a scribing jig, right? Just wrap it thing on there and just pop it and everything. But with this particular piece, there's really no place good to set it that would even up, right? Even down here is not the greatest, because then it runs into this section over here, right? So it's difficult, and that, well, now see, now that I say that, now that might actually work. That actually might work. Let me double check here and see. Yeah, that's straight down the line. All right, well, you know what? Just scratch what I just said and use your scribing jig. Heyo. All right. Oh, jeez. Anywho. Oh, man, oh, man, oh, man. All right, let's see. Excuse me. Michael Dawson, he's with us. He says, my phone finally has autocorrect. Heyo! About damn time. Hey, Mr. Gundamonium Works, Mr. Mikey Wine. What's going on, Mikey? Good to see you, bud. He says, how's it, buddy? I mean, it's going, It's Monday, so there's that. And Michael Dawson says, it's freaking great! Oh my god. The excitement over autocorrect. And then Giovanni says, I was going to the armor parts, I guess, to do the armor parts yesterday. I think I might overdone it with the scribing. I hope it doesn't look like a clown. I might do 3 shades of red, German gray, and a little bit of black. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Let's see. Mike Dawson says, I don't have to keep making spelling errors with these sausage fingers. Dude, really? Nice. Charles Dodge is with us. Morning, afternoon, everyone. Charles, what's going on, buddy? You absolute legend. Min Chao says, congrats. Thank you, Min. I appreciate that, dude. Mike Wine says, just finishing up a long weekend out of town with friends. Nice. Fueling up before 3.5 hour drive home. Oof. Yeah, been there, done that, Mikey. Been there, done that. That's not terrible. Like 3.5 hours isn't terrible. It's right on the borderline of being terrible, but it's doable, you know. So hopefully it's not like a boring drive, because those are, God, those are the worst. Those are the worst. Anywho, all right, good stuff. Let's go ahead and get this line wrapped around this bad boy here. And like I said, go ahead and grab your scribing jig, like I mentioned before. All right. Most important thing is make sure that this is lined up properly. There we go. Very nice. Very, very nice. All right. All right. Perfect. So there you can kind of see how that, let's get it a little closer. There you can see how that line wraps around there. Real nice. So nice and square. Nice and square. All right. So now what I want to do is find a different scribing jig so that we can try to wrap this guy around here. Now, is 4.5 going to be too much? Yeah, I'd say 3.5 might be better. Let's see. Let's go 3. Let's go 3. Where's 3? Come on. Where's the 3? There's the 3. Let's see what we've got here. Yeah, that's the one. That's the one we need. Okie doke. Alright, perfect. That's the scribing jig that we're going to need, because we have basically this is 3 millimeters from the front edge to the plastic piece back here, so that fits really, really nice right there, and that gives us a straight line to mark, to wrap our line back around on. So easy peasy. All right, so set our chisel, strike the line. There we go. All right, so now spin this guy back around, and let's get this line to depth. All right, very, very nice. All right, so there you can kind of see how that line wraps around perfectly, and it's all nice and neat, and that separates this part here. There's kind of a middle part, and then kind of the holder for the pipes and everything like that too, right? So that looks real nice. That looks real nice. All right, let's do the same thing to the other side, yeah? Let's see. Let's get caught up real quick. Let's see. Julius wants to know about Mike's. How's the new shift going? Mikey says, kind of tough trying to find a new time for the live stream, maybe Friday nights. Oh, yeah, gotcha. Mikey started a new job, so gotta promotion, I'd say, right, Mike? More of a promotion. So yeah. Mr. Colin Craig, Mr. Hi Craig, he's with us. What's going on, Colin? Of course, you know, go support Colin. Go buy some scribing jigs and some other tools and stuff like that. These are indispensable. Love these things. So go support Colin, man. Go support Colin. Let's see. Do you guys, Min Chao wants to know, do you guys have any good HE keyboard recommendations for beginners? Min, I'm not sure what you're talking about, buddy. What are you, when you say HE keyboard, I'm not sure kind of what you mean. So if you could go give us a little bit more context, I think we'll be able to help you. But yeah, I'm not sure what HE keyboard. It's like ergonomic or something like that. I don't know. Don't know. Mikey says yes, and my shift changed. Now I'm getting off at 7 p.m. Don't even get home until 8 p.m. now. Oof, man. So how many hours do you work, Mikey? Do you work like 310, something like that? All right. Anywho, let's get back on this while we wait for answers from everybody here. All right. So first things first, let's get this wrapped around here. Gotta get it lined up properly. Oh, come on, you shit. There we go. All right. Let's see how we did there. Very good. Very good. Very good. Let's see. Mikey says 8 hours a day, but another manager went out on medical, so I'm running his team for now. Oh, geez. So are you working extra hours aside from those 8? Here we go. Min Chao. They say it's Hall Effect PC keyboard. My keyboard is dying. Hall Effect? Let me see what that is. I don't know what that is, Min. I'm sorry, man. Let's see. Oh, gotcha. Okay, so one of the magnetic okay, so basically the way that it differs, an HE keyboard is the keys aren't like physical, they use like magnetic switches and things like that. So yeah, dude, I don't, because I honestly, obviously, you know, not knowing what they were, I never used one before, but maybe somebody else, I'm not sure, but yeah, I personally don't have, you know, any sort of recommendations for, you know, those types of keyboards, unfortunately. So, but Mikey says no, but 8 to 9 hours a day, Monday through Friday. Ooh, yeah. And that'll get you tired real quick too. That'll get you tired real quick. So, yeah, especially going in midday, like, well, kind of, yeah, midday. The height of traffic. I mean, at least you miss the morning rush and everything, you know, but you still got the pickup windows and all that throughout the day, so it's, you know, way more steady traffic at that point, but still. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that, Mikey.
All right, let's get this wrapped around here. So that line that we wrapped around, just a hair off, but it's not too bad. We can blend it in and make that go away. All right. That cleaned out, all the debris, dust and everything. All right, let's see how we did here. Yeah, it's not bad. That's not bad. Yeah, there we go. Mikey says, getting on the road soon, be good, humans. Mike, thanks for checking in, buddy. Drive safe, yeah? Drive safe, dude. Alrighty, good stuff. All right, so next thing I want to do, like I said, oh man, that graphite almost wiped away. I want to put a big kind of chunky notch on this, the back side of this line here. So right here-ish. You can see the graphite there. So right at that point, that's kind of where I want to put this notch, right? And we want to run it parallel to the panel line, right? So it blends in. Now let's make sure we do chisel discipline there, and then I think what we're going to go ahead and do is go 0.6 for this notch. Now, let's see what we can do here. Oh crap, dropped one of Colin's scribing jigs on the floor. Hang on. Rawr, come here, you. Damn it, come here. There we go. All right. So let's see if any of these are going to be deep enough. Maybe 6. Maybe 6. Let's see what that looks like here. Bingo. That's perfect. That 6 mil right there pops right on that panel line. That is perfect. All right, excellent then. So let's get our other scribing jigs put away so we don't lose them. There we go. All right. So just need to be able to hold this properly here. All right, good. Looks like we got that set in appropriately. Now let's just go back here and start to scrape some of this plastic away. Now, again, I am using this in a way that beginners definitely should not be using the chisels. If you're a beginner and you're not 100% comfortable with how your chisel works and everything, don't push, pull away, okay? Because you're basically, you want to scrape the plastic, right? It's looking pretty good. We're just getting this set in. So basically what I mean by set in is we're getting our edges set, right? We're getting those really crisp, really clean. And then once we have those edges set in, then we can go about, making the notch deeper, removing material and everything. But making sure the edges are super sharp and clean, man, that's paramount. That is the most crucial part, and that's what separates a kind of a beginner job from something that looks a little bit more polished at that point too. So set your edges, set your corners, then worry about depth. All right. Now we're working on the depth here, and with notches especially, you want to go back and forth because the chisel will vary, it'll vary in height based on your pressure, right? Now, one thing that I try to do is only scrape it maybe 2/3 the way, right? Because the middle part is going to get more material removed than the outside edges, just simply because of overlap, right? And hand pressure and everything. So I like to kind of not go the whole way down until I'm sure that everything is one consistent level and smooth, and then at that point it's just more for cleanup at that point. So we are kind of getting there right now, and as you can see, I'm going full length at this point. I'm hardly using any pressure at all, just cleaning this up and getting the debris out of there now. And there we go. There's your parallel notch. Yeah. See, that looks really good, right? So let me kind of explain the philosophy of this thing, right? So a notch. You don't see too many people. Well, let me rephrase that. You don't see too many people that are not, pretty advanced with scribing and everything use notches. It's, I don't know, it's one of those things, man. But I think notches are extremely important, to the overall look of things, because what they represent latches, or, hatch releases or something like that. So if you think about it, this, where is it? There we go. This notch here, is probably a big heavy duty latch to remove this covering, you know, from the vent and everything. You know, and you got a couple other ones there too on the front and the bottom of each side, right? But that one, that latch right there, that's doing the heavy lifting. That's going to be, that big chunky boy is, you know, securing this panel in place so it doesn't come flying off during a fight. You know what I mean? So notches are very, very important to the overall look, in my opinion. Now there's a few different types of notches, right? Now obviously there's the parallel notch that we just did here, and that you can see kind of right here. Let's see if I can get it. Yeah, right, that guy right there. So they run parallel to whatever panel line that they are intersecting, right? And then you have perpendicular notches, which would basically be, you know, these guys up here. Let's see, these guys right here. And then also on here, these little guys, right? So they run perpendicular to the panel line. So they make a T shape, right? Now, the third type of notch is more of a floating type of notch. And honestly, there's two types of those too. There's one kind of like these guys here and these guys down here, right? They just kind of run off and they just look like, you know, look like heavy latches or something like that. But then there is the the troublesome floating notch, which is what we're going to get into next, right? The floating notch is just that. It floats in the middle of an armor piece. It again still represents a latch or release or something like that for, you know, the panel that it, you know, is on or, you know, comes in contact with. But yeah, the floating notch is troublesome because you don't have anything to adjoin it to, right? So it is literally floating in the middle of a piece. So these are probably the more difficult notches, simply because there is no place to hide bad edges. Sorry, I had to take a drink. There's no place to hide bad edges. There's no place to hide your mistakes. So they are crucial, that, you know, these are well taken care of in terms of quality and attention to detail. Now this one I feel is going to be a real pain in the ass because we don't really have anything to attach a scribing jig to or anything like that. All we have at this point is this little bitty surface area right here, and we'll definitely use tape for this. There's no doubt about that. This is not something that I would do freehand. So we're definitely going to be using, you know, a piece of Dymo to get there, to align everything, right? So with that, let's get our Dymo cut here. Now, mind you, I am old school. I prefer the black old school Dymo tape. Now, mind you, I do have, what is it? This, and it's hard to see. Yeah, you can see the lines on there, the see-through tape. I have that. I don't really use it all that much, but I have it. But nah, see, what I use is this stuff right here. This is the old school black embossing Dymo tape. It's getting harder and harder to find, but you know, I got a few rolls of it, and you know, whatever happens, happens, basically. So, all right. So we're gonna put that piece over there. We're going to get this piece peeled back. Now, the reason why I like the embossing tape is because it is more rigid than, say, your normal scribing tape. I like it better. All right, so right about there. Now let's size this up and see what we're working with. Yeah, that'll be good. That'll be good. All right, so next thing, I want to make sure that there is, that this is placed straight with the angle of this piece, right? You can see how it bevels over, right? I want to make sure that the tape itself is parallel to that, to that edge. So placement of your tape is also super, super important. So don't neglect that. All right, let's see. No, trying to find a decent width here that is going to help us align this. Okay, that's not terrible. And mind you, I'm sliding this back and forth, and I'm looking at the very edge of this strip just to see how it compares in height to that edge, and that's really damn consistent. So I dig it. All right, so now the ever crucial setting in of the edges here. So I don't want this thing to be huge, right? But I want this to come off the edge a decent amount. So probably about 1 millimeter. So right about there. And we're just taking very, very light passes. And all we're doing right now is setting this back edge. That's it. We're not worried about the front edge right now. We're worried about the back edge. Because the back edge is crucial in terms of placement. Because if we fuck up the back edge, we don't have a lot of material on the back to, lengthen this out and correct our mistakes. So getting the back edge set first, that's important. Yeah, all right. And I feel that kind of wall starting to develop there, so that means our edge is getting nice and set in there. All right, clean the debris off of there. Let's check our work. Yeah, cool. All right, so now we need to set the front edge, and I think I'll go maybe 3-4 millimeters on this guy. And again, we're just setting edges, we're setting our corners, and we're just scraping lightly until we feel that kind of wall start to develop inside the notch itself. So basically what I mean is that when you start to get depth, right, that your chisel, the top part of your chisel will hit that wall, and you'll feel it, right? You'll feel it not go anywhere. And that's exactly what I'm looking for at this point, is to get this to kind of a starting depth. And right there, see, it's I'm pushing on it. It's not going this way at all. So that tells me we've got a good edge set. Now we can go about getting this thing set to depth. Yeah, there we go. There we go. All right, spin it around and blend these two edges together here. Very nice so far. Yeah, this is looking really nice and clean. Alright, so we've got all that. Now I'm just smoothing the bottom of this notch out. Just lightly scraping in both directions. We're not, you know, trying to get any more depth to it. We're just simply scraping the high points. Alright, so that should just about do it there. Alright, let's pop the tape off. Let's see what we're working with here. Yeah, money. Money, 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 money. Alright, cool. Let me inspect this just a little bit more. Kind of in the shadows. There we go. I think that just about does it. I'll show you the finished product here in a moment. But yeah, that's good. That's good. Let's see if we can catch the shadow a little bit. Yeah, I mean, you can kind of see it there, right? Let's see if we can get it. You son of a bitch. Yeah, see, there's no good head-on way of seeing it simply because of the lights, but that's not too bad right there, right? That's not terrible, but still, you can kind of get the idea of what we're going for, right? That kind of floating notch here in the middle of nowhere. No place to run, no place to hide. Like, it's on full visibility, right? That's not terrible right there. But this notch can't hide. So if it's fucked up, you're gonna see it. And it'll be one of the first things that people see. But yeah, that's the importance of kind of taking your time with these and going, let's go camera 2. So, like I said before, you have to set both edges separately, right? And then connect the two together and overlap. So that's kind of step 1 and 2. Set your edges, real lightly scraping. Scrape, 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 light passes until you feel that kind of wall start to set and you can feel it with the top edge of your chisel. Once you have that, then you can kind of go deeper and start to develop the depth of the notch, right? Once you have that kind of on one side, spin it around, do the same thing on the other side. Scrape, 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 set your edge, light passes. Once you feel that wall, depth, connect the two. Once those two kind of edges are set and blended together, then just scrape them flat. Scrape them flat, tidy up everything, with that, and that's your notch. Now, I've explained it, like it's easy, but it is not easy. It's not. It's one of the hardest things to really master in terms of, a good scribing, type of application. So you got to be careful. You got to be real, real careful with that. So, yeah. Anywho, let's get caught up, yeah? Let's see. Here we go. Mikey says, I was finally able to get to the post office to get my scribing jigs. Hey, nice, 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 nice. Brandon says, make sure to put some Tamiya extra thin on those edges. Yeah. Eric Bennett's with us. What's going on, Eric? Good to see you. He says, yo. Giovanni says, I started doing that with my scribing. Having panels with defined borders shows attention to detail. How are technicians going to have access to whatever they need to fix? Exactly, exactly. And I'll touch back on this in just a second, but I want to say hi to Saiba. They say, hello, what's going on? But going back to Giovanni's point, this is a wonderful point and something that I've mentioned before, the kind of the, thought behind panels. Armor panels, are separated for a reason. And that basically they're separated so they can be removed from the mobile suit so that technicians, can get into whatever is behind said panels, right? So think about this, right? So here's the leg of the Shiki, right? And it's not a heavily armored mobile suit, because it has this exposed piston and everything, and a highly exposed ankle joint and all that. But what you have, so say for instance you take this side leg panel off here, right? Which is what I'm trying my best to do. Where's the damn? Where's this? Come here, you. Come on. You're fucking up my whole dissertation here, bud. Christ. Anyway, let's try it. Let's try this side. I think this side is going to be easier. Yeah, there we go. All right, so basically this panel, right, this armor panel covered up all of this internal work, right? And who knows what all this crap is. I'm not gonna, venture a guess or anything, but, you have these little directional thrusters here, probably some movement, mechanics and things, all that stuff that is covered and protected by armor panels, right? Just like a tank, just like, a plane that you fly on. There are systems below those panels that have to be serviced and or repaired. So that's one of the things that I always try to think about when I am kind of designing, my panel lines or my notches and placements and things like that. It's like, what's below that? What does a technician need to be able to get to make repairs and to, fix or adjust or calibrate or what have you, right? There's going to be a lot of systems, behind these panels and everything. So just keep that in mind when you are, you know, kind of coming up with your panel line designs. Especially like, you know, for instance, if I, let's go back to super zoom and I'll show you here real quick. So it's one of the reasons kind of why we separate these panels at specific molded locations, right? So at corners or at, you know, features like this stair step or something. Same thing up here at the back end, right? I panel, you know, outline scribed this kind of block that sits on top here because, you know, like what else, you know, what purpose does it serve, right? What's under there that a technician would have to get to, right? And that's another reason why panel line outside, you know, the outline of this back block here too, right? And, you know, ran it, there we go, let's get this oriented here. Ran this panel line down and around here so they can get this larger cowling piece off here. And then I also went ahead and, you know, outlined the back end. So, you know, say for instance, if they just have to calibrate this thing, you know, or something like that, you know, pop this panel off. I'm sure there's probably, you know, an interface back there to calibrate power settings or dampeners or what have you. I don't know. But if they really kind of have to, you know, replace parts or, you know, do heavy duty, then they can, you know, pull this whole armor piece off here, you know, this whole cover. You know, say they have to get to maybe a targeting system underneath of this little block or something like that. Well, they can remove that and calibrate that. I don't know. I'm just, again, spitballing here. But that's the importance. That's kind of where the realism comes into play in terms of separating, you know, these parts and kind of getting that that look that a maintenance person can remove these covers and actually do work, you know? So that's the kind of philosophy behind it. Here we go. Giovanni says, that's why I do metallic inner frame. The inner frame has to be metallic. Maybe some matte moving parts. When you open the hood of a car, you see a lot of metallic parts. The outside can be matte, gloss, what have you. And I think that, Giovanni, to your point, let's go back to camera 2, is honestly more of a stylistic decision. I mean, you're dead on with the some of the metallic parts, you know, in terms of a car. You know, in like pistons, right? Like, say for instance, the piston here on the Shiki, like this inner piston will absolutely have to be some sort of shiny silver, right? Because that's just how pistons are. But this outside, the outer part of the piston can be like red or some contrasting color, what have you. Now, probably not with this Shiki, because that would, obviously paint a target on that thing. But if you were to look at some of like military applications and things like that, a lot of military applications, like the inner workings, are actually painted. Say for instance, if you look at like if you see one of the stealth, bombers or fighters or what have you, if you've ever seen their panels opened, to see on the inside, you'll see the panels are painted like a white or like a light gray or something like that. So for me, and again, this is more stylistic, I think, than anything. I usually never paint my inner frame, like a metallic color. I'll usually paint it a matte, kind of, some shade of gray,
or, you know, maybe a very, very, very muted green if I'm feeling squirrely, but that's very rare. Um, yeah, I mean, and like I said, I think that's more of a stylistic choice. There's no wrong way. It's just more, you know, preference. Yeah, and I've seen really, really great metallic inner frames. But you know, like I said, um, all of the models that I've ever done have always used kind of a matte color on the inner frames. So yeah, different styles, really, different styles. So Mikey's got a question.
We have a question.
Mikey says, you mind me sharing what I have done with one of the arms on my project? I'd like some honest opinions and advice to get the Alex like shoulder armor. No, Mike, dude, that's what the community section on the channel is for. To post things so we can take a look at it. So no, absolutely. Feel free to post in there anytime. That's why I opened it up, you know? And that goes for everybody too. Everybody. If you got something that you want to show off, ask questions about, whatever, man, post it in the community. That's what the community is for, right? So yeah, Mikey, go have at it, dude. Go have at it. Brandon says, always dreamed about doing a suite in a work bay, full diorama with some armor removed and work being done on the inside. Yeah, I've seen a few kind of like that. Oh shit. Damn it! Now his name escapes me. Australian builder did a diorama like that with one of the 1/35th scale forearms that, you know, the 1/35th line, the ones like with the tank and the hover truck and everything, the UC Hardgraph, I think is the line. But one of the kits came with a full-on 1/35th ground type forearm, and it's the whole hand, forearm, and I think it was the elbow joint too. And what he did was he got, you know, like 1/35th mechanics, put it in a repair bay and everything. And the coolest part was one of the technicians had a welding mask on and a welder and everything, and he put like a little micro LED on the welder and made it flash a little bit, so it looked like there was actual welding going on. And I just thought that was so freaking brilliant. For the life of me, I can't remember the name escapes me, and I feel bad because I'm friends with him on Facebook and everything. But shit, I'll probably remember after stream, and I'll be like, God damn it! So yeah, fuck me, right? Anyway. All right, hey, just a reminder, you guys, I opened up the YouTube memberships. So if you want to go and become a, you know, tried and true member of the channel, it would be awesome. There's some nice little perks and stuff like that as well in there, and we'll be, you know, kind of rolling out more, you know, for members in the future as well. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, any support is appreciated. So, Dave B says, Aaron? No, see, it wasn't Aaron. Aaron's done amazing work, and fuck, now I gotta look it up. Shit. Now I gotta look it up. Oh, God. He doesn't build much anymore. Shit. I can't for the... and I don't want to sit here and look through my Facebook friends list. It just... Yeah. But... Yeah, it's a cool piece of... It's a cool piece. Very, very intelligently done. Let's put it that way. So, yeah. Let's see. Brandon says, I've seen that before, Tim. It was great work. I don't have the skill set yet to bring alive, the vision in my head. Yeah, and that's always the hard part, right? That's always the hard part. So, Giovanni says, send you pics of the inner frame on the community page. Okie dokie, let's take a quick looky. Let's take a looky look here. All right, community. Here we go. What do we got? Sort by newest. Oh yeah, look at that. Giovanni posted some pics. Wow, Giovanni posted a bunch of pics here a few days ago. Very cool. All right, let's see what we have here. I do hate that you can't enlarge the photos on the computer. That irks me. That irks me. So Giovanni, I'm looking at your Lindworm. That looks good, man. The lines look clean. So let's see on the Ribawu. Yeah, I mean, again, as far as I can tell, on here, obviously I can't zoom in, but yeah, lines look pretty good. Yeah, no complaints, dude. No complaints. Get this sorted again. Here we go, let's see. Yeah. See, that inner frame looks nice. So Giovanni posted a picture of his master grade gun cannon inner frame. And see that? Yeah, that's a very kind of muted, kind of like a gunmetal type of gray. I like that. I like that. If you're going to go metallic, go something very, very subtle in my opinion, you know? Yeah. Very cool. Let's see what Mikey's got here too. Looks like, what does he say here? This is what I have done so far on one of the arms. Detail part on the upper arm is placeholder, so is the hand. Okie dokie. Let's see what we've got here. Not bad. Not bad. Mike, the only thing that I would say is the upper arm, the tricep armor, right? Normally that conforms to the circular joint. So that's the only thing that I would maybe think about, you know? Aside from that, I mean, it looks pretty decent to me. Sizing, I think, is right there where it needs to be and all. So, but yeah, the only thing that I would worry about is, you know, conforming that, you know, the tricep armor down a little bit onto that circular joint. Just a little. Nothing crazy, but just a little. So, but yeah, other than that, I think it looks good. Yeah, I think it looks good. So, yeah. Let's see. PTS is with us. He says, I'm so sad they are taking down the full-size unicorn in November. Actually, it's going to be in August, dude. Sorry. It's actually going to be earlier than that. It's August. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's had a good run. It's had a good run. And I think, you know, so far, I think the first one was up right around the same amount of time. I'm not 100% sure. Something like that. So, yeah. Brandon says, all right, see you guys tonight. Off to Sam's Club before it storms. Oof. Yeah. Have fun today, Tim. Thanks, Brandon. Appreciate you, man. Have fun at Sam's Club. Michael Dawson says, I posted 3 pictures of the arm. Were there 3? I'll have to go back. Anyway. But Mikey says, gotta head to work later. Mike, have fun. All right. Good deal. So, with that being said, let's get the leg shoved off to the side here. Let's get this guy back in. And then let's try to finish up here with this this notch up here. Let's go back to super zoom. We're doing some, you know, finer detailing. I'll worry about that other floating notch here after, you know, later on after the stream and everything, because I'm not going to make you guys sit through that again. All right, so we want to put a wrapping notch around this edge here, right? So we want to have it on this surface and then this surface, and just kind of wrap around that corner. Now, what size? Do we want to go smallish and go 0.6? Yeah, I think 0.6 will be good. Understated, you know? Because that's another thing. Understatement is key. So let me show you what I mean by that, right? So this panel line here and these two corresponding notches, they are very small in comparison to the, you know, the whole, you know, gun and everything, right? They are very, very small. But that's a good thing, because what that does is it presents you with an illusion of scale, right? And I always kind of mention that, or I have mentioned that in the past. That illusion of scale is what we're all chasing, you know, when we build scale models. Just, you know, we're trying to make it look like it was the real deal, just shrunk down. So that's why I say that understatement is that's big. That's big. All right. So with this, since this, you know, has the seam running down the middle, I know where our middle point is. So with that being said, I'm going to start to freehand this guy here. Fuck, that didn't sound good, did it? I'm going to have to come up with different terminologies because, my God. Alright, and as you can see, I am trying to set the edges here. And I'm just scraping, just shaving minute pieces of plastic. Paper thin. There we go. Now we're getting the edges set. See all that plastic coming off of there? I know you guys can't see it because it's getting blown out, but trust me, there's a lot of plastic coming off of there. And let's see if we can see. No, we can't see it just yet. All right, let me get the back edge set here.
see, what time is it? 1:24. All right, cool. So we got a few more minutes here before I have to call it quits, because like I said, at the top of the show, we are ending a bit early today because I have a thing with Amber. So for those of you that missed it, her elementary school is inviting back all graduating seniors that attended that elementary school. Basically, they're inviting them back to walk the halls in their captain gowns, kind of to show off and kind of show the kids that go there, currently, what the future is going to look like. So I thought that was a really cool idea. Very, very sweet, very wholesome. So she'll get to see some of her old friends that, she used to pal around with back in her elementary school days, and that'll be cool. But I'm going to go kind of watch that and experience that with her and all that fun stuff. So that's why we got to cut it short here in the next few minutes. But we're going to get this notch set in. We got time for that. We got time for that. All right, since there's a bevel on this edge of the piece, I'm actually going in and angling this down a bit. This will actually make it a bit easier to wrap this notch around here too. Okay. Good. Man, this is a hard angle right here to try and look at this thing. Now we're getting it. Got our edges set, we got our corners sharp. Now we're just getting the depth set here. Now, when you're getting the depth set in, I do use a little bit more pressure in terms of, scraping away the material. Not a ton, just a little bit more than normal, right? Just to try and remove the material. That looks really quite good. All right. Very nice. All right, let's just even this top section out again. Just fine tune. And there we go. All right. Get this cleaned off. I just got some. Oh, or is that? Oh, that's graphite. Oh, I thought that was plastic along the side there, but no, that's that's pencil mark. All right, let's see what we've got here. So there, let's see if we can't get a little closer. There you can kind of see that notch there, right? Yeah, see, that looks good. Very nice and clean, very sharp edges all the way around. You can kind of see the bottom section there, you know, in the shadow and everything. Right down there. Wrapped very, very good. So, perfect. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right. Excellent. All right, so good work today, you guys. Let's go back to camera 1. All right, so we're going to finish it up here, call it quits for the day. Well, for today, then we'll be back tonight. We're going to continue working on this. Don't forget, man, go join the membership here on YouTube if you can. That would really, really be appreciated. Show some support for your boy. And yeah, we'll be back here tonight. We'll get back to work on this thing. I'm going to go have fun with Amber and the elementary school kids and all that. And yeah, stay safe out there, you guys. Build something cool. We'll see you tonight.